Lesson 17, student page 96. Example 3. Consider the equation quantity x minus 2 times the quantity 2x minus 3 equals quantity x minus 2 times quantity x plus 5. Lulu chooses to multiply through by 1 over x minus 2 and gets the answer 8. But Poindexter points out that x equals 2 is also an answer, which Lulu missed. And that's true. If we put in here, if we go 2 minus 2, we get 0. And so this is 0 times whatever 2x minus 3 is. And if we do it over here, 2 minus 2 again, we get 0 is whatever x plus 0 times that. And 2, Poindexter is right, 2 would actually work. So the problem is what Lulu has done is by multiplying by 1 over, by multiplying by 1 over x minus 2, she's essentially dividing by a variable. And we explored that in some of the other lessons, dividing by a variable. And the problem with that is that we can get some answers that we're not allowed to have. In other words, if we have 1 over x minus 2, if x equals 2, we get 1 over 0, and we're not allowed to divide by 1 over 0, which means that we invalidate our answer. We don't want to do that. So dividing by a variable is not safe, basically. All right, so now we have this kind of messy looking problem we got to deal with, and we got to figure out a way to solve it. I'm going to go ahead and scoot this up a little bit so we have room to think. And let's go ahead. Okay, so what we have is I'm going to write this neatly, and I think I'll just start right here. X minus 2 times 2x minus 3 equals x minus 2 times x plus 5. And I'm doing the work for this problem down here. It says using factoring solve the original equation for x. Well, remember, we have to have things to equal 0. So I'm going to subtract all of this. I'm going to take all of that. I need to subtract, hoping for a new color here. Come on, there we go. I need to subtract all of this. I'm going to subtract it from both sides. It's going to look like this. X minus 2 quantity times 2x minus 3 quantity. And remember, I'm subtracting all this from both sides. That'll give me 0 pair over here. And x minus 2 quantity x plus 5 equals 0. Now, at least I have it equal to 0. And if we think about what we saw in the previous problem, we have an x minus 2 and an x minus 2. That means I have something I can pull to the front. I can take these two out, park them over here in the front, and now I can see where I'm going. I'm going to get x minus 2, and then I've got to be very careful, this negative here. I've got 2x minus 3 quantity minus the quantity x plus 5. I've got a lot of parentheses to untangle. So I'm going to go ahead and tackle the middle of those parentheses first, because that's really what I need to do. So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, okay, this is 2x minus 3, and then this says the opposite of x plus 5, which would be minus x minus 5. Now I've got that untangled a little bit. I can't lose my x minus 2, I'll keep it. And that's equal to 0. And now if I think about it, I've got x minus 2, and then combine my like terms. 2x minus x is x. And then my other set of like terms is the negative 3 and the negative 5. And they make negative 8. And now I'm ready to find my answer. X minus 2 equals 0, or x minus 8 equals 0. So x is 2, or x is 8, which are the two answers that Lulu and Poindexter found. We're happy. So we've got another problem. This is almost identical to what you saw up here. You're going to have to take this, and we're going to have to set this equal to 0 again. So I'm going to subtract all of this from both sides. X minus 2 times the quantity, 2x minus 3, and then minus quantity x minus 2 times x plus 1 equals 0. Another big mess, but these two guys are going to come out front. X minus 2. And now that I've written them, I don't have to think about them anymore, but I've got to close off all the rest of what's left. Now remember, I said this one's gone, but if you think about it, look, let's look and see what we got left here. We've got these two guys. So we have 2x minus 3, that quantity, and then minus x plus 1, that quantity, which is going to equal 0. Clean it up a little bit. X minus 2, 2x minus 3 minus x minus 1 equals 0. This 3 look a little more like a 3, a little more. So we have x minus 2, like terms, 2x minus x is x, and negative 3 and negative 1 is negative 4. And I'm hoping almost now at this point you can see the answer. X is either 2 for this parenthesis, or x is 4 for the second parenthesis. Hope that makes sense. I hope when you look at A that you'll think it's too easy and that you should do it yourself, but I would be happy to get you started with B. So the problem is, again, we don't equal 0, and we need to get ourselves to equal 0. So let's go ahead and say x squared minus 2x minus 5x equals 5x minus 5x. We're going to just key in on 0. Zero's the answer to everything in this lesson, all right? Well, it's not the answer, but it's the step to get to the answer. And speaking of 0, there's our 0 pair. Equals 0. We have two like terms. So we have x squared and then 2x and 5x, that's 7x. I'm hoping at this point that you see that there's an x in common. X out, undistributing or distributing backwards. And that's 0. And I bet you can figure out what x equals. X equals what or what? I hope you guessed 0, because that's the only thing that could be, or 7. Okay, down here, I see a 5x minus 20 in 3 places, but I don't have a 0. That means I got to get this guy to get himself over to this side of the equation. Change sides of the equation, change signs. So when I move him over, what's going to happen is he's positive here, he's going to become negative on the other side. So x times 5x minus 20 plus 2 times 5x minus 20 minus 5 times 5x minus 20 equals 0. Interesting. What I've got here is I've got 5x minus 20 in 1, 2, 3 places. So I'm going to write it, 5x minus 20. That's what it is, and now that's out of my way. I'm not even thinking about that anymore. But now I have to gather what's left. So if I gather what's left, and this is what's going to go in my parenthesis here, what I see is the parts that I have not crossed off. I have an x, a plus 2, and a minus 5. And that equals 0. Hopefully you're looking at this and saying, okay, we got 5x minus 20 and x minus 3 equals 0. So we're going to solve two equations. 5x minus 20 equals 0, or x minus 3 equals 0. X is 3, 5x equals 20, x equals 4. We got it. And you're going to do A. I'm not going to do A. I know you can do it.